Tonight, Paulsboro's Joe Duca tries to become the 14th wrestler in South Jersey history to win 4 region titles. From Absegami High School, it's high school wrestling on the Gloucester County Educational Network, the Region 8 Finals. With John Vogeding, I'm John Mondelli. Vogeding, as we just mentioned, Joe Duca trying to do something only 13 other wrestlers have done so far.
Yeah, it's an incredible feat and a very, very difficult feat. You look at the great wrestlers over the years who won 2 regional titles, maybe 1 regional title, but to do 3, it's almost unheard of.
And what's interesting, Voj, is over in Region 7, a couple wrestlers from Eastern can also do the same thing tonight.
Including one who started his career in Region 8, and Anthony Baldessaro of Eastern, who started his career at Delsea Regional High School.
Okay, we mentioned Duca's 4, but Chuck Zeisloff going for his 3rd.
Yep, and Chuck Zeisloff is on a mission. He's already signed, sealed, delivered to go to Rider University next year. He's having another great year, but he's got his work cut out in the finals.
And also, we have 6 wrestlers going for their 2nd, so there's a lot of talent tonight at this on this stage.
Awful lot of talent, as shown by the seedings, because 13 out of 14 weight classes have the number 1 seeded wrestler going for a title tonight. The only upset was a district rematch in which James Higgins of Washington Township got beat by
Goodwin of
Williamstown.
And also we had a 7 seed, Cosgrove of Paulsboro, getting to the final.
Kind of like a double Cinderella story. In the districts, it was Tyler Burlingame, who couldn't compete here because he broke his thumb in district competition. Matt Cosgrove got upset in the district semifinals, came here as a number 7 seed, and has reeled off back-to-back pins in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and now he's having fun.
Now, is there parity in this region? Because if you look at the breakdown, 29 and 32 each have 8 guys going into the final. District 30 has 7, District 31 has 5.
Well, I think you can throw a blanket over some of these districts. The talent level is amazing. Yet you look at District 32, and they have multiple schools among those 8 or 9 wrestlers. In District 29, Paulsboro has 5 of them in the finals. I think West Effort has 2 of them. So 7 out of the 8 wrestlers are from those 2 schools.
Okay, it should be an interesting night. We'll have all the action coming up next on the Gloucester County Educational Network. And welcome back to Absegami High School with John Vogeding, John Mondelli. Voj, we're going to start at 103. 2nd week in a row we've done the tournaments and started off at 103.
Lucky draw out of the hat, and it'll match up Billy Ward, a freshman from Buena Regional High School, and Ricky Carter, the number 3 seed. Ward, the number 1 seed, Ricky Carter, the number 3 seed, a sophomore from Washington Township. Both wrestlers having a tremendous year. Ward 28-4 going into this championship final. Lost to Kevin DeVoy of Burlington Township, Rich Lewis of Tom Reese, Will Gardner of Shalleck, and one other loss out of state. Point Borough, actually, so the shore area. Ricky Carter lost to Ashnault from South Plainfield, a very good wrestler. Lost to a wrestler from Jackson and a wrestler from St. Joe's Montvale.
Just underway, first period.
Billy Ward, as we mentioned, the number 1 seed. He got here with a 158 fall over Cody Croce of Paulsboro in the quarterfinals. A 5-0 win over Sal Giancola of Absegami in the semis. And now he's matched up against Ricky Carter in the finals. Ricky Carter, the number 3 seed, beat Tyler Kaminsky of West Deptford 11-5. And then he shut out John Henley, an impressive freshman from Delsea, 8-0. Henley battled back through the wrestlebacks and the consolation finals to place 3rd and earn a spot to the state finals, which will start on Friday in Atlantic City.
110 in, no score. Some wrestling bloodlines for Billy Ward, Voj. His father wrestling in the same tournament. You see a nice takedown by Ward.
Billy Ward's father was 2nd in Region 8 at 148 pounds in 1985. He lost to Bob Scannell, a familiar name here in Absegami, one of the Scannell brothers. Lost to him 7-6.
Oh, look at that, Voj. And Ralph Ross is unhappy with something.
Yeah.
There's the 2. Got the 2. I think he was looking for more.
He Either that or he was looking for control by Ricky Carter, and he's got to be careful in that corner because you can be demonstrative, but you've got to be careful.
Right back where we started, 2-2 as we go into the second.
And the coaches were warned ahead of time, if you have to be hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct, it could have a bearing on being able to go to Atlantic City.
Ralph Ross, the head coach, Dave Tomasetti, former state champion, to his side.
Billy Ward trying to come off the bottom. As round and round they go, and Ward finally gets a reversal. Billy Ward's having both wrestlers are having a fantastic year.
30-3 for Carter, 28-4 for Ward. Gonna have some back points here.
Right there on the tilt. Oh my. And that's a sign of a good wrestler. When you can get a tilt out there, you're exposing your back too.
7-2 lead.
Billy Ward certainly on a mission in this bout.
Came into this period tied at 2, so Castellari's head coach, Ward, getting all the points. Look at this
my.
one.
Oh my. Oh, brother. Stretching him out. Oh my, there it is. 3:06, time of the fall. That's the 17th title won by a wrestler from Butte Regional. Billy Ward put a punctuation mark on that.
Didn't have a chance to mention Castellari, the head coach, and his father also in the corner with him. We go to 112.
Now at 112 pounds, Kurt Delia, a sophomore from the Delsey Regional, will be meeting a very impressive Brandon Keller, a freshman from Timber Creek. Brandon Keller this year, heading into this bout, 31-1. His lone loss is to Kevin DeVoy of Burlington Township. Kurt Delia, 31-3 heading into this bout. Lost to a wrestler from Southern Regional, one from DePaul Catholic, and one from Christiansburg in Virginia. So pretty quality losses on the resume.
Delia was a champ last year, folks. At 103 pounds, Penn Canal or Paulsboro, 3 minutes 3 seconds. So he's looking for his second title, and he's in on that leg. Nothing yet.
And when you've been there and done that, it is a big confidence boost for you.
Talked to a lot of people, thought this could be one of the best matches of the night. We had a chance to see Keller Vogeding, I guess about a month or so ago. We went to the Timber Creek Eastern dual meet. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of young wrestlers on Timber Creek. You're going to hear a lot about them.
They're a very impressive team, up and coming. Nick Catone, the head coach for Timber Creek, assisted in the corner by Mike Davidson. Greg Sawyer, of course, a veteran coach now for Delsey Regional, and Angelo DeJoseph in the corner. By the way, we seed this tournament after the opening rounds, and Angelo DeJoseph is one of the district representatives and does a great job having the background to put good arguments up on the criteria that's used nowadays.
Of course, wrestled at Cumberland High School in his high school days.
Yep.
No score, still in the first. Delia in the red.
Go, Brandy, go!
Second straight match, we've had a freshman against a sophomore. Keller, the freshman.
And the second straight match where the number 1 seed is Kurt Delia and the number 3 seed Brandon Keller. So 1-3 in the first 2 matches. Number 1 prevailed in the first bout. This bout, there's no score at this point. Can't say enough about the people to put on this tournament down here. There's a standing room only crowd here tonight. And so, of course, it's a one-day affair because of the snow. But they started wrestling at 9 o'clock this morning and have gone pretty much right straight through with a very minimal break. And everybody's just chipped in and has done a great job.
All around the state, they're doing that one-day tournament as we look at the crowd here.
Steve Fortis, the athletic director at Absegami High School, went to school here, in fact. Now is an administrator and the person in charge of the athletic programs. And by the way, before the wrestling started, they honored the 4 district coaches of the year. And District 32 coach of the year, Gene Barber, was selected as the Region 8 Coach of the Year. And then they had a special presentation. They have a sign hanging up above the crowd saying, "Losing weight is easy, losing a legend hard." And for the last 35 years, Barber's been a mainstay here.
We'll see him, a couple of his wrestlers a little bit later. 1 point.
Illegal hold. Penalty point.
Roberts and Maloney, the officials in this match.
Up and out! Up and out, Brandon!
Keller leads 1-0.
Up and out, Brandon! Go, go!
As
Go!
I mentioned earlier, we saw Keller earlier this year when Timber Creek wrestled Eastern, and he's really got a great future.
1-0, Vog. That point's a big point to give up points in close matches like this.
Oh, absolutely, especially on a penalty point, because the penalty chart is a cumulative points chart. You start, it's not like cautions, where cautions you get a couple free ones and then it's just a point each time.
There's a caution, speaking of, on Delia.
The penalty point chart, after you get one penalty and you get a second penalty, and then the third one's 2 points, and then you end up being disqualified. Delia trying desperately to hold onto the legs.
That's it,
Keller
Brandon!
trying to kick his way out.
Come on, Brand!
Notice the bowl effect in here with the stands out on every side of the gymnasium now. Earlier, one end of the gym had the bleachers in because we had 3 mats on the floor.
Interesting, speaking of the size of the gym, Region 7 moving down to Robbinsville. You know anything about that gym, Vog?
Oh, I understand from people who have been there is that it's a very small gym. Of course, Robbinsville is a Group 1 size school, so I can't imagine having a huge gym, but I know Howie O'Neill is there and a couple other people from the Wrestling Hall of Fame. So we'll see what their response is to it and how it went.
Stall warning against Delia.
Because at one time, Region 7 was at Cherry Hill East. And
remember those days, Vog?
yeah, there's an escape.
It's 2-0.
Another time it was at Eastern. Then it was at Morristown the last couple of years.
That's it, Brandon!
And of course, for this time of the year, for regional competition, you like to have as big a facility as you can possibly get. That's what's so exciting about Boardwalk Hall, where the state championships are a 3-day affair.
Delia's trying to get a takedown late. It'd be 2 big points for him.
And nobody gets turned away at Boardwalk Hall. Wow.
2-0 lead, Keller. We go to the third.
Delia's got no choice but to take down. Keller looks like nothing phases him out there.
(31-1). Only lost to DeVoy. We hear a lot about DeVoy wrestling at Burlington Township. We don't get a chance to see him until the state tournament.
No, we saw him earlier in the year to meet against West Epford. But he's very, very good. And of course, Timber Creek being a rather newer school, they've had one regional champion. That was Dan Stanley in 2005. But they're the newcomer on the block, and Nick Catone has them operating on all cylinders.
Got a stalemate with 1:18 left.
Time running out on Delia.
Hang tough, Brandon. Hang tough.
You're down by 2 points. It could be feels like you're down by 20 points. Everything Delia's trying to do, Keller has an answer for it. Sticking to him like glue.
Work it, Brandon. Work it.
Or a disadvantaged fly on fly paper. Into the final 45 seconds. Keller has the answer so far. Oh my. There were people who looked at Keller coming into this tournament and figured he had all the credentials to win a title, and he's certainly proving it tonight.
He's 20 seconds from it.
Hold him there, Brandon. Hold him there. Hold him there. Hold him there.
That loss to DeVoy was 5-2 back on January 30th. Now 2-1, 6 seconds left.
Yeah, Keller kind of gave Delia the escape, and now he has to hang in there. He's not been warned for stalling, so all he had to do is protect himself. 2-1, the final score.
The number 3 seed Keller.
So we've had a number 1 seed and a number 3 seed share the victory platform tonight.
Getting ready to have the awards presentation for 103. And then we'll get into the 119-pound weight class.
And at 119 pounds, we're going to have Joe Esposito of St. Augustine Prep, a sophomore. And he's going to be going up against two-time Region 8 champion Chuck Zeisloff of Gateway Regional, a senior who has a perfect record this year, 31-0 this year.
And we see the award winners at 103, Ward, Carter, 1 and 2.
Among the wrestlers who have beaten Esposito this year were Deutsch of Camden Catholic, Orecchio, who we saw upstate last year, and Diema of Paulsboro. Esposito got some sweet revenge against
Diema
in the semifinals, beating Diema 10-7 when Diema carried a 7-5 lead into the last 10 seconds of the match and gave up a takedown and 3-point near fall to lose 10-7.
Esposito, a sophomore, Zeisloff, a senior, as we get ready for 119 pounds.
Zeisloff enters the match with 127 career wins. Second in the districts as a freshman, and then 3 consecutive district titles. Fourth in Region 8 in 2006, and first the last 2 years. And he was 5th in the state in 2007, 4th in the state in 2008. Chuck Lucas and Jim Rutter will be in his corner, and he's set to go to Rider University next year. Esposito, as we mentioned, a sophomore. First in the districts as a freshman, second this last year. Joey Melchiori and Drew Fisher in the corner for Esposito. This is the number 1 against the number 3 seed. Interestingly, when we talk about family ties, in 1984, Chuck Zeisloff beat Mike Barnes of Woodbury 2 weeks in a row in the district finals and the regional finals at 135 pounds, and that is Chuck's father.
Meanwhile, the son going for his 3rd title. And one thing we've learned from watching Zeisloff is his motor runs for 6 minutes.
Oh, it does. Comes at you constantly.
If he can free up that leg, spin around, he'll get to 2.
And he's got the crossface in. Still doesn't have control. But he's trying to get behind.
There it
Hooks
is.
the leg, and when he hooks the leg, he's got the 2-point takedown.
Zaislov was in a tight match, I should say, this afternoon in the semifinal. I think it was a 1-point match.
3-2. Zaislov got to this point. He got a forfeit in his first match in the quarterfinals because a wrestler had to withdraw because of an injury. That Coley O'Brien.
Right. Zaislov beat him, by the way, 2 years ago at the 103-pound final in double overtime.
And
look at this, folks.
Yep. And O'Brien was undefeated coming into this tournament, but he got hurt in the district final, so he could not compete. And after that forfeit win, Zaislov had a 3-2 nail-biter over Grant Kircher of Pennsville, who battled back in their wrestlebacks and beat Sean DiEmma 6-3 for third place to earn a trip to Atlantic City. Esposito had a 125 fall over Christian Trainer.
It's funny, Vojo, the 14 weight classes, we're only going to have 2 rematches from the district finals.
Right.
We'll see one in, I think, is it at
152?
52, and the other one at 215.
215. Trainer from Vineland is the wrestler that Esposito pinned, and then we said that come from behind win 10-7 over Sean DiEmma. And then Grant Kirchner got a little bit of revenge in that third place match because that's who he lost to in a dual meet when Paulsboro beat Pennsville.
Oh, look how quick Zaislov is off that whistle.
Explodes out there. Gets the escape. Now you're going to see the motor running. It's going to be perpetual motion out there. Again, the number 1 seed against the number 3 seed. When O'Brien withdrew, that necessitated wrestlers moving up, so DiEmma actually became the number 2 seed, and Esposito, who originally was the number 4 seed, became the number 3 seed. And of course, you understand all that, how we
Absolutely.
move wrestlers around after.
Actually, you told me Wednesday night, or Thursday night. I can't remember. Whenever I talked to you, we had this conversation.
And you were prepped for it. You understood everything.
I think I was half asleep, remember?
You were in bed.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Zaislov with a 3-0 lead against Esposito. Esposito just a sophomore, and nice program they're building over there at St. Augustine, Boach. And there's another takedown, 5-0.
Joey Melchiori, of course, the coach over at St. Augustine, and he is a former Highland wrestler who went to Oklahoma first, and he went to University of Iowa. He was a 4-time All-American, so he's got some credentials to bring to the table.
5-1.
Oh, my.
I'm going to put some pressure on you in a few seconds, Boach. I'm going to ask you a question. Next whistle. Assuming I can remember.
Yeah. Gateway's had 12 regional championships spread among 8 people. Hans Van Brill was our first regional champion, 1971. Tommy Albright, Joe DiGenova, Mike DiGenova, Greg Rizzo, Chuck Zaislov, the father, Mark White, one of our all-time favorites, and Chucky Zaislov going after his third.
Trying to get another takedown late in the period. See if he can finish it.
Yep. He knows what to do. When he gets that leg up in the air, he knows what to do with it, doesn't he?
7-1.
Wow.
Got Joe Melchiori over there on the other side, Voj, coaching for St. Augustine. We saw Pat Lynch in this gym. We saw some pretty good wrestlers. Best wrestler, Region 7, Region 8 history. Who is it?
The best wrestler?
Yeah.
Or the most exciting one match?
No, best wrestler.
Best wrestler? Well, there's a slew.
Melchiori's a 3-time state champ.
Melchiori's 3-time state champ. Fact is, he lost to a wrestler from Millville, Doug Taylor, here when he was a freshman. But Melchiori certainly, ended up his career, I think, with 120-some wins in a row.
125-3, I think, was his career record.
Yeah.
7-1, now 7-2. Here in the third, Zaislov in front.
and you're not going to see him back off. This afternoon, he wanted to get to the final, so he had no stalling warnings, and he was very active out there, and he was a moving target. You couldn't zero in on him. There's a couple of classic finals we saw here, not only here, but in the state finals with Damian Covington and Pat Lynch. Another takedown, well, didn't clear the leg yet.
But you know what? The clock's moving, so it's even sure Zaislov doesn't mind.
If he cross faces hard here and then gets his leg out, he'll have another takedown. Almost a stalemate situation. There's two. And notice how Zaislov, he rolls right through with his opponent and is willing to give up the 1-point escape because he has such a big lead, 9-3.
2 years ago, he beat O'Brien in double overtime. Last year, Vogue, the ultimate tiebreaker, 9-7 win over Damir Rapa. This one might not go overtime. It's 9-3.
Ultimate tiebreaker. That's taking you 8.5 minutes to accomplish that feat.
Yeah, so when I said he gives you a good 6 minutes, he sometimes goes longer. And Vogue, by the way, I realized I didn't forget. You never answered the question.
Okay.
So, you know, you have like 11 more weight classes to come up with an answer. 25 seconds left in this one. 9-3 leads Zaislov.
I thought Joey Duca is a very impressionable wrestler. 4-time regional champion. I think he won the regional.
Vogue, he's a 3-time regional champion.
3-time. But you think he won the Outstanding Wrestler Award his freshman year, I believe.
Yes, he did. I think he beating Curcio 7-5 in overtime.
Yep.
Zaislov goes.
Just doing what he has to do. Very methodical.
11-3.
Oh, my.
3-time region champion, Zaislov.
Major decision, 11-3.
Why don't you go through the place winners for us at 112 votes before we get to the next match?
112-pound place winners. In third place at 112 pounds was Matt Solera of Washington Township, an 11-7 win over Justin Mayer of Deptford. Second place at 112 pounds was Kurt Delia of Delsey, who was dethroned by Brandon Keller of Timber Creek.
119. Got a lot of wins. You look at the career wins for these two wrestlers. We had the winningest wrestler in South Jersey history in Duca. And Gillard has, I think, like over 120 wins in his career.
Yeah, 125-pound final. Joe Duca, senior from Paulsboro, 37-0 this year. 25 wins by fall this year, 150 career wins. And, you know, it was my fault in the district when he won the district title. That was his 148th win, which broke the South Jersey record held by Kyle Packer, who wrestled for Cherokee. Joe Duca, a 4-time district champion, already a 3-time regional champion, 4th in the state 2 years ago, 2nd in the state last year. His opponent, Rob Gillard, who we've seen a couple times this year. In fact, as we saw him wrestle Damir Rapa a couple times, he's a senior, 31-4 going into this match. One of his losses was to Damir Rapa in the Mustang Classic. He also lost to Dan Cornu from Clearview. He lost to Brandon Davis of Hodson Votech in Delaware, and he lost to a wrestler from Maryland. So he only has 2 losses in state. 128-27 in a very, very, very good career. Third in the districts and first in the districts 3 times, sophomore, junior, and senior years. He was 3rd in the region 2 years in a row, and he was 8th in the state last year. Greg Sawyer and Angelo Joseph in his corner.
Duca trying to free up that arm and get a takedown.
Duca's strength is on his feet, but if he's going to win a state title, as he found out last year, he's got to be able to ride people, and he's got to be able to come off the bottom. Last year he lost in that ultimate tiebreaker to Cagnina, was it?
Vinny Delfave, was it? No, or,
drawing a
Tom's
blank
River,
right,
I think.
Yeah, right now, but it was because it went to the 30-second tiebreaker, and the other wrestler came off the bottom and won the match.
Takedown for Duca. Crowd doesn't think it was.
Nor does Greg Sawyer.
Well, they might waive it. Let's see if they keep it a takedown.
It's Michael Williams, the referee in charge, being assisted by Tom Reynolds. This is an area where Duca had to work a little bit harder on the last 2 years, and trying very, very hard to set up a ride that will enable him to keep a man to the mat and maybe force back exposure of some kind.
Period ends, 2-0 lead, Duca.
Delsey's had 34 regional champions over the years from 26 different individuals. One of those regional champions was the head coach, Greg Sawyer.
He was also a state runner-up, and
1997.
Eric Rigger, who we're going to be seeing a little bit later, going for his second region title.
Right. Kurt Delia winning, as you mentioned before, at 103 last year. Rigger winning at 140 last year. A few people shouting from the audience for Joe to open up. I'll tell you what, you're going after your 4th regional title, and only 13 people in South Jersey history have done it prior. You go out there to win. You don't go out there to make mistakes. Like they say in the golf game, and I know you're a big golfer, drive for show and putt for dough.
Duca's going to get 2 more. Just takes his time.
He's got to spin behind. Got to free that arm. Picks up the ankle.
Gillard doing a nice job, though, Vogt.
Yep.
He's going to get some back points.
Well, Duca had.
Did he get the 2 first?
Yeah, you get the reversal when he starts.
Well, they were on their feet.
When he starts a back count, you have to have the takedown. I'm sorry, not a reversal. You have to have those points before an official can start counting back points. Oh my. Trying to bar the arm. Stop this potentially dangerous. 4-0 to score. You know, we've had the opportunity to talk to Duca a couple times after matches this year. And what's the thing that impresses you most about Duca? He's taking them one at a time.
I was going to say that I remember him saying that after, I think it was the Collingswood match.
Plus, the very first thing that's out of his mouth is he wanted the team to win. His wins will come, but he's a team man too.
Well, we go to the 3rd. He's up 4-0. In the 2nd period, Duca had his choice and chose neutral.
Now Gillard
has his choice. It looks like he chose the top.
Yeah, and I think what you're looking at there is Gillard knowing that Duca is going to get out off the bottom, so he rode him a lot last period. So now he wants to start on top, see if he can't put something on Duca that Duca can't solve, such as a tilt. But Duca's a battler.
Gets the reversal. It's up now 6-0.
That strategy didn't quite work. Now he's putting a lot of pressure on the arm.
Looked like Gillard went 30 and 35 a lot during the year, Vogt, and moved down to 25.
Yeah, he probably certified at 25 early in the year. And then when wrestlers certify at a certain weight, and then they look at the competition, was it back in back at the during the holiday break at a Mustang Classic, I think Gillard and Rappa wrestled, and that might have been at 35. Not sure. And then when they wrestled in a dual meet, as bad as Rappa beat Gillard in the Mustang Classic, Gillard beat Rappa just as bad in a dual meet. Duca got the near side half in, got the arm barred on the other side. Now he switches off. Duca, of course, committed earlier to go to Indiana University next year in the Big Ten. And he'll be joined by an Eastern wrestler, Preston Kiefer.
Kiefer's another one of those wrestlers, I believe, Voj, going for his third or fourth title, region title. Him and Baldessaro.
Yeah. Kiefer won at 145, 152, and 160 the last 3 years. So he, as well as Duca and Baldessaro, will be going for a fourth one. Oh my. Oh my.
Potentially dangerous.
The arm just not meant to bend that way.
19 seconds left, 6-0 lead, Duca. Something that hasn't happened at Duca this year, I don't think, Voj. He was taken down in the semis.
Well, he was taken down a couple times in a Mustang Classic by Lano of Southern Regional, who ended up winning that match by 1 point.
Potentially dangerous again. Of course, he only went on to win by tech fall this afternoon.
Yeah, and he's getting very frustrated out there with all the stoppages, but...
And he's going to win his fourth region title, vote. 6-0 victory for Joe Duca of Paulsboro.
Put a big positive stamp on his
14th wrestler
competition. Duca joins a long list of winners in Paulsboro history, consecutive wins in the districts or in the Region 8 competition from 1971 on.
And what's that, the second Paulsboro wrestler? I'm not sure, to win 4 regions. I know Curl did it.
Yep, Tommy Curl did it. Matt Suter was the first Paulsboro wrestler.
How can I forget Matt Suter? Matt Suter was only, I think, the second wrestler ever to do it.
Yeah, Chuck Trotman and Lenape was the first. Suter was the second in 1990, 91, 92, and 93. And then the next Paulsboro wrestler to do it was, you mentioned, Tommy Curl, the heavyweight, in 99, 2000, and 1 and 2. And now Joe Duca adds his name to the list.
And we take a look at Chuck Zeisloff, the winner at 119 pounds. So you can see the place winners.
He was first. Joe Esposito of St. Augustine was second. And Grant Kircher of Pennsville was the third placer, who will be going to Atlantic City.
Okay, we get ready for 130 pounds. Charlie Huff.
Charlie,
right,
with no R, a junior for Washington Township High School, 31-3 this year. One of his losses was to Lano of Southern, who Duca had a little bit of trouble with. Also lost to a wrestler from Jackson. Ralph Ross Jr. and Brett Fetty should be in the corner for Washington Township. Demir Rappa Jr. as well, 31-5. Lost to Gillard of Delsey, who he beat in the Mustang Classic, lost to in the dual meet. Lost to a wrestler from Solanco and a wrestler from Sussex Central in the Escape the Rock tournament. Lost to Eric Hamrick of Collingswood, and lost to
Joe Devone of St. Augustine.
Devone of St. Augustine.
No score here.
Rappa enters this bout with a 77-29 career record. Of course, as usual, Washington Township doesn't quite fill in all the blanks on the questionnaire we gave them. So we have no information on Charlie's career record.
We do know that Charlie was a champ at 125 last year, Voj. 4-3 win over A.J. Fisher,
who's now away wrestling in college. I believe he's wrestling up at Wilkes University. Tom Reynolds, the official in charge on the mat. Ron Roberts assisting him.
Wild flurry, no points awarded.
Well, you know, the one thing that's impressive about Huff is that he's an all-around athlete. He was quite a football player on the Minuteman football team.
Yes, he was.
So he's not afraid to mix it up, and he's a pretty hard-nosed kid.
He used to work with his dad back in the day, Vogue. Just thought I'd throw that in.
How far back in the day?
God, I don't know. I'm sure our director is going to help me out there and throw a year in, but I'm going to say the 90s.
That is a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, it could be 99, it could be 90.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Washington Township has had 31 regional champions over the years. Huff trying a lot of upper body type throws.
I mentioned that to you earlier, Vogue, about his strength. And Rappa's got the size.
Well, the impressive thing about Rappa is his height. He's got good leverage. And he was able to stave off any takedown attempt in that period, and we go to the second, 0-0. I think there are quite a few people that would have loved to have seen a Paulsboro-Washington Township dual meet this year as Rappa gets the escape.
I'm going to bring that up. The top two teams in South Jersey. They had the voting today in the region votes as the top team in Region 8, and Paulsboro was voted the top team in Region 8 with Township number 2, correct?
Township was number 2, Absegami was number 3, West Stepford was number 4, and Timber Creek number 5. That's a vote of the coaches, and that determines the order in which these teams can be put on the board when they have the state meeting to determine the top 25 teams in the state.
And that vote is going to be an interesting vote. Is it High Point, Long Branch, or South Plainfield in your mind?
It's a good question because they
beat each other.
They've all taken turns beating each other. It's like a round robin series when you're trying to seed a weight class. You round robin, you have to kind of like toss them all out. I mean, Hunter Central should be in mix. South Plainfield, we were very impressed with them. Jackson Memorial was a very impressive team. Jackson Memorial destroyed Washington Township in the state group wars.
1-0 lead for Rappa here with 45 seconds left in the second. The only point, an escape for Rappa in the second. Neither wrestler doing any scoring in the first.
Yeah, and you see Huff trying to control the head. If he could control the head and block one of the arms, he has the speed to spin behind if he can avoid the long arms of Rappa. Wrestling is such a confidence sport. You have to have confidence in your moves.
And of course, a wise man once told me, Voj, no guppies when you get this far upstream.
Not one bit. No guppies, only sharks. This is the elite of the elite.
Third period. And Huff gets out in 2 seconds. Voj, we're tied at 1.
Well, now either a mistake determines it or you're going to go overtime to determine it. This is, again, where confidence comes into play. Because if either wrestler can get in on the legs, they can get a takedown, and 2 points would be huge. Oh, my.
And there's Huff. He's got the 2, and he's got the lead. 3-1.
Yeah, see, Rappa fired in for the move, and Huff just used his muscles to shug him off. A little bit of the drill you see out in the football field. Tackle the man.
Rappa came close last year, losing to Zeislov. Huff has a championship already.
Right.
3-2 with a minute left.
Now takedown becomes the winning points.
Well, a takedown for Huff puts him in great shape.
Oh, terrific shape.
For Rappa, he'd still have to hold him down.
Absolutely. So maybe if you're going to get takedown, you want to get in the last 2 seconds. See the quickness of Huff?
Absolutely.
And of course, Huff with the lead right now. He can block, because he doesn't need the point.
We go back to the center with 26 seconds left. Charlie Huff with the 3-2 lead over Demir Rappa.
Rappa is the do or die time for Rappa.
Got a caution on Rappa. Stall warning against Huff, but Huff's going to try and position himself for a takedown.
Oh my.
And no one's going to get any points here, and we go back to the center with 13 seconds left.
So with a stalling warning, Rappa has to put the pressure on Huff and try and draw the final stall call.
Almost a caution there on Rappa.
Yeah.
One second left. Huff's going to will hold on and win this match and pick up his second title. There's a caution, but that's it. Charlie Huff. And I hate to hear the billing, Bows. Come on. What's the booing for?
Well, the booing there was because Huff kind of gave some kind of a salute to the Paulsboro audience. And
just saying hi, Bows.
It's sportsmanship.
3-2 win. Huff wins his second title.
Place winners at 125 pounds. First place, of course, was Joey Duca with his 4th regional title. Second place went to Rob Gillard of Delsey, and third place to Christian Solera of Washington Township. All three will swing into action next in Atlantic City.
We get ready for 135 pounds, and one of the better matches in the afternoon vote was the Felton Goodwin James Higgins match.
Without a doubt, that one went right down to
the end.
The end. Fact is, it was a 4-2 match. Washington Township tied it on a stalling point with 10 seconds left, and a reversal at the buzzer gave Goodwin a 4-2 win.
And Goodwin had lost the week before, Vogue, I think like 9-1
right
in the district final to Higgins. Higgins came back and took third.
Next up at 135 pounds, as you mentioned, with Will Goodwin, and he's going to wrestle John Harvey of Absegami. Goodwin, the number 4 seed, and Harvey, the number 2 seed. Harvey, a senior, 29-8 this year. 98 career wins entering this bout. 3-time district champion, 3rd in this region last year.
It's the only weight class where the number 1 seeded wrestler did not get through.
Yep. And for Goodwin.
I was just trying to trick you up, see if you knew you got the wrong sheet there.
Felton Goodwin of Williamstown, a senior, 27-6. He lost to Curtis Becker. Lost to James Higgins of Washington Township. And lost to Sean Bonner of West Deptford. To Harvey, who he's wrestling now. And 2 out-of-state losses. Has 78 career wins going into this bout. The number 4 seed in the blue. And Harvey, the number 2 seed.
Harvey and Robinson, who we're going to see in a little bit from Absegami, both wrestlers trying to get to 100. One has 98, one has 97 votes, so they're going to have to win in Atlantic City.
So that's where they have to keep winning. Goodwin had a 4-13 fall over Gary Jackson of Pensgrove in the quarterfinals, and as we mentioned, that 4-2 win in the semis over Higgins. Harvey, the number 2 seed, had a 6-4 win over Phil Bukalkas of Hamilton before a 7-5 win over Drew Spector of West Thetford. Higgins earned his trip to Atlantic City with an 8-6 sudden victory overtime win over Drew Spector.
And takedown and a 2-0 lead for Harvey.
Of course, these wrestlers are a compliment to Gene Barber and Sean Scannell, who are sitting in the corner for Absegami. Their 2 basic mainstays all year have been Harvey and Robinson. And of course, they lost in the South Jersey finals to Washington Township. So the team won the conference championship, but could not win the group title in Gene's final year as the head coach. Charlie Huff got the 32nd Region 8 championship for the Minutemen. And his 2nd in a row, as you mentioned.
Harvey beat Goodwin 7-5 votes in the Group 4 tournament. Matter of fact, when Robinson and Cobb go at it, another Absegami-Williamstown matchup, Robinson beat Cobb, so Cobb's going to look for some revenge also.
Ron Roberts, the official in charge, is about. Al Maloney assisting. Ron Roberts was a Region 8 champion in 1992 for Buena Regional at 189 pounds. And Al Maloney, the little colonel out there, was a multi-time Region 8 champion. As you see, another takedown. Maloney won in 1972, 73, and 74. 2 years in a row at 98 pounds. His last championship at 101 pounds.
Midway through this match now, 4-1 lead for Harvey. Give these to you early, votes, so I can make sure they're right for the next weight class. It's an escape, 4-2. Goodwin's in this match. Looks like we got blood time. Some kind of timeout. I think they said blood time.
John Harvey just exudes confidence out there. Knows what he wants to do. Knows what moves he wants to make.
Well, we talked about it. They wrestled earlier in the year, and Harvey won 7-5, so he knows
the opponent.
Yeah. Blood time. I'm trying to figure out why it's not moving on the clock.
Oh, up on the board?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the clocks are not as modern.
Well, they were working earlier today. So.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. And maybe they just ran it off the regular clock. I'm not really sure.
I think he probably did that. Because I don't think these are set up to run injury time and blood time. Well,
we're ready to wrestle again. 27 seconds left in the second, 4-2 lead. John Harvey of Absegami.
Oh my. Oh my.
Knowing where he is at all times.
Yep.
Gets the takedown. He's up now 6-2. You don't want to give up any points here late in the period.
No. And cat-like reflexes too. When he gets near the out-of-bounds line, just swooped down and grabbed that ankle, picked it up, pulled him back in.
Reminded me of your days back in the 50s. That's how you used to be, cat-like.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you something. These are new audio things. These are called cough switches. When you want to cough, you hit that button.
That popped up so fast on me.
Just having fun with you, Vogue.
Absegami's last regional champion was in 2006 when Phil Black won his second regional title.
That's kind of hard to believe, you know. I believe it, but hard to believe.
Yeah, year in and year out, Absegami always has somebody in his tournament. We see that every year we're here. Harvey relentless right now, very physical.
And all my sheets all out of order over here. 7-2. Third period.
Harvey with a comfortable lead.
Absegami, number three team in the region, Vogue. Are you surprised at the year they had? I mean, I think they opened a lot of eyes early when they beat Phillipsburg.
Right, beat Phillipsburg very early in the season. And I think, you know, when you look at the return form that Coach Barber turned in to the media, I don't think he was quite sure. He knew he had quality wrestlers in Harvey and Robinson and Studmiller, Ebby Maj, Willette, Capella. I mean, he had some very good wrestlers, but with 14 weight classes, you need some depth. And I'm not so sure he thought he had the depth early in the year. And if they beat Phillipsburg, that's just a big confidence builder. The kids start to believe in themselves, and they work hard.
9-3 lead Harvey.
Safe to say that Absegami now has 45 regional champions among 28 individuals with a 9-3 final score.
First region title for Harvey.
Medalist next up on the podium for 130 pounds. The third, I was going to say the third place medalist was Kevin Birmingham of Timber Creek. The runner-up, Demir Rappa of Paulsboro, and the champion, Charlie Huff of Washington Township. All three of them will be competing next at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City.
And Huff just a junior, so he'll go next year for his third title.
Join Select Company by doing that. Up next at 140 pounds, the number one seed is Zach Inman of Pennsville. He's a senior, 30 wins and 5 losses this year. Losses to Fanjoy of Cherokee, Cody Combs of
Could be Delaware Valley.
Eric Rigger of Delsey, C.J. Cobb of Williamstown, and Curtis Becker.
Or it could be Delaware, I don't even know. But anyway, it's a Della.
Yeah, and Mike McCaucus of Hamilton is a junior. Perfect this year at 32-0. After 22 wins his freshman year, 34 wins as a sophomore, 32 wins as a junior. Second in the districts his first 2 years, first in the districts this year.
88-9 in his career.
Yeah. David and Paul Moriello in the corner for Bukakis. We saw Bukakis last year, too. I think he's away in college now. Oh, my.
2-0 lead, Bukakis.
He's certainly on a mission. Wrestling Zach Inman of Pennsville, who has 107 career wins.
Dan Lamont, by the way, the head coach, I was told this by Chappie, our buddy Scott Chapelier of the Gloucester County Times, that Lamont, the head coach of Pennsville, said if 3 guys advanced to Atlantic City, he would dye his hair blonde.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's
when you don't mind, though, Vogt. Pennsville's had a pretty good tournament.
And they had a good year. They won the district championship by beating Delsey. They lost the conference division to Delsey, but they won the district, and they finished second. Second to Paulsboro?
Haddonfield finished second. They had to run the Paulsboro early on.
Early, yeah, that's right.
In the South Jersey semifinals.
Right.
Two to 1. Inman with the escape. Inman the number 1 seed, Bukakis the 3 seed. Bukakis with that overtime win against Becker to get to the final. I think Becker finished 3rd.
Becker did finish 3rd overall, so he earned a trip to Atlantic City. Bukakis, as the number 3 seed, won 8-2 in his first match, and as you mentioned, 7-5 sudden victory, which means the 2-point takedown came in that first 1-minute overtime period against Curtis Becker, the number 2 seed. Inman cruised into the finals with 13-3 and 7-1 wins. Becker wrestled back, won his first wrestle back match, and then by a tech fall, and then he beat Troy Willett of Absegami 4-0.
Bukakis starts on the bottom as we begin the second period. He's up 2-1. Of course, Voj, one more week for you being the PA announcer, the voice of the state championships. Or is it co-voice? I know you're one of the voices.
One of 2. John Bukakis won regional titles in 2008 and 2009. So the Bukakis family.
And there was another Bukakis in this tournament, too.
Yes, a younger one.
Sophomore.
So John was a 2-time region champion. Mike is trying to win 1. And it's a tight match. Hamilton's only claimed 4 regional titles. Of course, Hamilton was down for quite a few years, and Dave Moriello has stepped in there, has done a really good job bringing that program to life.
You start getting a little success, Voj, then the kids want to wrestle in the youth programs, and that's how you build it up. There's the escape.
Without a doubt.
3-1 lead, Bukakis.
Without a doubt. Success breeds success. If you can give kids something that they can relate to and work together with as a team, pays big dividends down the road. A lot of media across the way.
I think every paper's covered, Voj. Just saw a writer from the Washington Post step out for a second. Well, maybe that's not true.
Well, the Philadelphia Inquirer's over there, the Atlantic City Press, the
papers further to our south.
Yeah. The Vineland Times Journal. It's always good to come to a tournament of this size. I get to renew a lot of old friendships.
Going to go to the third period, 3-1 lead for Bukakis. See if Inman can make something happen here.
Al Maloney, the official in charge. Michael Williams assisting in this match. Al Maloney took a couple years off while his son was wrestling at Eastern High School and graduated, and now Alan's back actively doing a lot of key high school matches.
See Bukakis put the elbow right into the back of the head of Inman. Inman can't really do much with that.
And you call a stalemate on the first time with something like that. If you're going to lay on top of the guy and keep your elbow in the back of his head, then it becomes a stalling move. A fresh start gave Inman a chance to get off the bottom. Now it's a 1-point bout.
Well, if you're Inman, you got to go after him. You're down by a point. You need a takedown. Put some pressure. Might force a stall warning, and you still have plenty of time. There it is. Look at that, Vogt.
Oh, my.
And he finished the move, though. Inman almost had the takedown.
Yep. Got the legs. He's trying to spin in the direction that Bukakis is spinning. Bukakis takes a quick peek at the clock. Sees there's less than 40 seconds up there.
Might get a stalemate here.
It's a stalemate right there.
Vogt, you're getting pretty good at this sport. 35 seconds left, 3-2 lead Bukakis.
Well, what's the difference whether you lose by a point or lose by 5 points? You got to take a shot.
4 points, that's the difference. It doesn't really matter in a wrestling match, as long as if you lose by 7 or you lose by 1, right?
Yeah.
This, of course, a tournament, so it doesn't really matter. But if you're Inman, you got to go right after him now. You got a good point, Vogt.
Yeah.
There's the warning.
Yep.
Might be a little late.
Well, Bukakis doing what he has to do out there. He has the lead. There have been no warnings.
4 seconds. And Bukakis is going to remain unbeaten. 3-2 win.
That's the third title in 2 years in that family. Looking at the medal winners at 135 pounds, as we mentioned earlier, James Higgins of Washington Township battled his way back. He won a 9-3 consolation semifinal, and he won a 8-6 overtime sudden victory on a takedown for third place over Drew Spector of West Deptford. Felton Goodwin of Williamstown was second, and John Harvey of Absegami, the champion. 145 pounds. Got another Absegami wrestler, the #1 seed, Shane Robinson, 31-4, going into this bout. 3 of his losses, 4 losses, were in the Beast of the East tournament, which is a very early tournament during the year. 97 career wins, as you mentioned. A 2-time district champion who was second in the region last year. His opponent, C.J. Cobb, a junior from Williamstown, 21-4 this year. I think the lesser number of matches because of an injury during the year.
Of course, we talked about it. Robinson already beat him once.
Right.
And Robinson going right in, right away.
Right.
Not wasting any time.
Other losses by Cobb and Taylor Walsh of Camden Catholic, James Green, and Devin Bashaha of
Host of quality losses there, huh, Vogt?
All 4 quality losses, including the wrestler he's wrestling right now.
Asking for time, though. Looks like he was...
I think his wind was cut off a little bit. That's what he was pointing at, his carotid. Could have been feeling the effects of the airflow being cut off.
Robinson, the #1 seed, because of that win over Cobb.
Yeah.
Robinson last year wrestled 140 pounds, lost to Eric Rieger of Delsey, 8-3 in the final. We'll see Rieger coming up next.
John Jernigan, the Williamstown coach, and Cobb with 84 career wins.
Oh, look at that.
my. Oh, my. That's what we saw with Matt Cosgrove earlier when he was reversing his opponent. Oh, my. And he stacked him like that. Oh, my. Look at this turn in.
No point. Here we go. 2-0, I should say, for Robinson.
Yeah. And back points, I believe. Yes.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
You can't. I thought I saw him counting, so he had in his mind that he had the
Had the takedown first?
takedown. Yeah. Michael Williams, the official in charge. Tom Reynolds, the assistant.
C.J. Cobb was a region champ last year at 145 pounds over Nick DeGalbo, 4-2. Looking for his second title. Robinson looking for his first.
Yeah.
That was a 4-0 lead.
And Cobb, a lot of success in
Now
the
they took those 2 off the board, Vogue.
Okay.
No back, he's saying. Two nothing.
Yeah, well, evidently what the official had given was when he finally gave control, the man come off his back. His back was flat to the mat there for a split second, but he didn't have control yet. The Braves of Absegami, coached for the final time by Gene Barber. Barber and his longtime assistant, Sean Scannell, in the corner.
Cobb trying to get one in the closing seconds. Robinson's going to hold on, take that 2-0 lead to the second. Robinson's choice, he takes bottom. Get a week off, don't you, Vogue, after the state tournament?
Yes.
Usually it's right to the nationals. This is the second year that you had an extra week between those, right?
Right. Once the state tournament ends, there will be that annual Seniors Classic down in Delaware this year, and then an open weekend, and then following that weekend out to Nebraska for the nationals.
That'll be coming to Philadelphia in a year or two, right?
Yep. Next year.
3-0 lead, Robinson, second period. By the way, it should be a pretty good senior team when they wrestle Delaware this year, don't you think?
Well, you would think, and there's a lot of really good talent in Region 7 too. Not that there isn't good talent here in Region 8.
Now I'm looking at, because I'm thinking over there, I'm thinking, you have Stinson, you have Kiefer, you have Baldessaro or Walsh. You could have the wild card. That'd be a great wild card, huh?
Oh, brother.
145 for South Jersey. That would be my wild card.
Yep, yep.
Taking nothing away, by the way, from these two wrestlers.
Yep.
To get the takedown on the line, he got it. 5-0 lead.
Wow. That's huge. That is huge. And you notice what you have here. You have two wrestlers back to back who are very good, and they're in the regional finals because
they work out with each other.
They work out with each other every day. So, I mean, what better training partner can you get than someone who's a regional champion or a state place winner? I mean, you saw Paulsboro earlier in this tournament having a 19-pounder Diema, a 25-pounder Duke, and a 30-pounder Demir Rappa, all here because they work each other every day.
Little blood time.
Nobody with more than one champion so far But Absegami with a 5-0 lead in this bout and should become the first school in this region to win a second regional title. Kind of a going away gift for Gene Barber, the coach.
Motion in and out, right up off the bottom, right up off the bottom, and get your shot. Set it up, come on. Flat up your feet, you gotta be on your toes with your arm.
Got the bleeding stopped. 44 seconds remaining in the second period. Oh my. Oh my. Shane Robinson on a mission. Here's one for you, Coach.
Think that's what he's saying? Not here's one for me.
Here's one for you, Coach. A nice going away present. You won a regional champion, we're going to give you 2. Potentially dangerous. Knee doesn't bend that way. Well, the success that C.J. Cobb has had on the Scholastic level, it's got to be frustrating for him to get to the Region 8 final and meet someone the caliber of Shane Robinson.
Well, it's the second time an Absegami wrestler has wrestled somebody they'd beaten earlier in the year. And Harvey won for the second time.
Yeah, and that's a confidence builder. You know, you've been out there, you've beaten him, you know that you can do it.
We go to the third, and it seems like everything that Cobb does, Robinson
has a counter for it. And of course, sometimes that backfires. We saw Diema wrestle Kircher, trying to earn a trip to Atlantic City, and Kircher had lost to him in that playoff match because Diema had to score late, and he got a spladle on the wrestler to beat him as he was losing. And Kircher wasn't about ready to get caught in the spladle this time.
Potentially dangerous.
So you see Shane Robinson telling the official that putting pressure on the windpipe or the carotid, and that's why he's in a little bit of an agony out there.
Cobb gets a point, and he'll start neutral.
Yep, given to him.
Cobb needs to do is go on the offensive, get a takedown, get himself back into this match.
Yeah, you're losing by 4 points going to the last minute and a half of regulation. Have to start making things happen. They got to get a little bit desperate out there. Reach around that neck again, and again the official calls potentially dangerous. Now, if he continues to do it, he could get penalized for doing what he's doing. He's cutting the air supply off. That's more than potentially dangerous. It's illegal. Well, Cobb's got to explode now. He's not much choice. He's down 5-1.
Five-1, 55 seconds left. Little break in the action. So you like this all one day thing, Voj?
No,
Talked to a few people, not a fan. Long day.
it is, especially for the kids. I mean, they're in condition at this point in their career and this year. They are, if they're cutting weight, they've mastered it by this time of the year. They don't need a break of 5 minutes between sessions. You got to have a little bit more breathing room. You know, I guess I'm a little bit of a traditionalist, so I like to see the quarterfinals on a Friday night and then come back with the Saturday semifinals, get into the wrestlebacks.
Didn't we go through this whole traditional thing last week?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm taking it, you got up at 5, got on your horse, and you trotted down to Galloway Township.
Yeah. Well, and Robinson's doing the best thing he can do out there. If there's a desperate wrestler out there, he just has to counter him at this point, and you counter by keeping the pressure on.
It's like a shark around a wounded fish, Voj. I sit down at night and write down all these Vojisms.
24 seconds. Time is definitely running out. Stalemate. I think C.J. Cobb is kind of resigned at this point to know that Robinson has the perfect defense today.
So after finishing second last year at 140 pounds.
He is now the champion. 5-1. And the second school to get two regional champions.
Have the awards presentation for 140 pounds.
140-pound third placer was Curtis Becker of Kingsway by way of a 4-0 win over Troy Willett of Absegami. The 140-pound runner-up was the #1 seed, Zach Inman of Pennsville. And the 140-pound champion, the #3 seed from Hamilton, Mike Bakakis.
Now we get ready to go to 152 pounds. Eric Rigger, the champ at 140 last year, #1 seed, and Joe Renard of Kingsway.
And this is a district rematch, right?
Must be, yeah, that's right, Butch. This is one of two we have, District 31 rematch.
Eric Rigger, a senior, 29-3 this year. Lost to Dave Newcomer of Eastern, C.J. Cobb, who we just saw from Williamstown. 4-time district champion. Placed second in the regions in 2008, first last year. Fourth in the state in 2009. Coached by Greg Sawyer and Jason Belinsky in this match. His opponent, Joe Renard of Kingsway, senior, 27-3, losses to Robert Elliott of Cumberland, Joe to Rigger, and one time in the Virginia Duels, 53 career wins, 8 losses in his career. Brian Farnham and Brent Dudulak in the corner. By the way, speaking of Kingsway, where Joe Renard is from, we saw the former Kingsway coach who is now coaching down at Liberty University, Jesse Castro.
Anyway, I want to mention Renard had an early takedown and escape for Rigger, and Rigger trying to get the takedown and take the lead, and there it is, 3-2. We've already had more scoring in this match, Voj, in 46 seconds than they had in their district final where Renard, or I should say Rigger, won 2-1.
Had a chance to chat with Jesse Castro for a second. Of course, he was a coach at Delsey Regional for a number of years before he went to Liberty University.
Kingsway.
Kingsway, I'm sorry. A very good friend of Steve Isles at Delsey, but coached at Kingsway. And he has a former Delsey wrestler down at Liberty, Frankie Gajewski. Has a weekend off. Their national qualifiers next week. So he's up here looking for some possible recruits. Tom Reynolds, the official in charge. Ron Roberts, the assistant. He stopped that move of Renard off the bottom, considering it potentially dangerous.
And we're tied at 3.
Stalemate, nobody could go anywhere. Wow. Oh my. Trying to dump. Oh my. Oh my.
Nothing.
Oh wow.
Wild first period.
All that, and nobody could establish any kind of complete control. Rigger will be down. Kingsway's had 15 regional championships over the years. Last one by Rich Bushby in 2008 at 145 pounds. Joe Renard's older brother, John Renard, was a 2-time Region 8 champion. Oh my. Rigger going headfirst into the mat, trying to do anything to get off the bottom.
Still controlled, though, by Renard. You see why it was a tight match the first time.
Yes. And having had a tight match the first time, this is what you can expect. Generally, I mean, they know each other's moves.
They did not wrestle in the dual meet. And Kingsway wrestled Delsey. Delsey won that dual meet 41-31.
Right. Rigger's got 3/4 of a reversal right now. Renard steps over. Rigger trying to come out the backside.
Got it, right? There it is.
Right there.
5-3.
Pretty athletic set of moves there by Rigger to keep persistently after that reversal to get the 2 points. Brian Farnham in the corner for Renard.
Big 20 seconds for Renard to get out.
Yes.
He's going to be on the bottom to start the third. He wants to cut that lead to 1.
Well, he's trying to get a reversal, but he's going to run out of time. There's a stalemate call. Renard tried to throw the hips across. Rigger tried to throw the hips across to block that move. And Renard caught him by the ankle and almost negotiated his way into a two-pointer. Oh, my.
Going to run out of time. 5-3 going into the third. Rigger with the lead.
And Renard's going to take down their defensive position.
Tomorrow, just a day to relax for you, Vogue? We have plans? Taking that ride over the bridge tomorrow? You don't know?
If Mrs. Vogue has her way, we won't be staying home.
You're leaving, Vogue. We know who's in charge.
Got to see if Alice Cannon wants to take a trip.
Potentially dangerous. Setting a record for those calls today.
We are, and safety first is pretty neat, but this is the elite of your elite when you get to the regional finals. A lot of pressure moves out there. Rigger stepping across. Thought he was going to try for a near side cradle, but Renard's going to get free.
Trying for a reversal.
Yep, and he doesn't settle for one. He wants two.
Tied at 5. This will be interesting, Vogue, with a minute 20, what he wants to do here.
Yes. And how long will Rigger wait to see if he can get out off the bottom?
5-5 match, a rematch of the District 31 final from last week where Rigger won 2-1.
A lot more points in this one. Rigger turning in. Oh my, Renard trying to step over, trying to get back exposure.
Give up one, not two.
Good hips there by Rigger. All he's got to do is turn his hips.
Got a reversal.
There's the two.
Big two, 7-5.
Great mat savvy out there by Rigger. Knew exactly how to throw his hips.
28 seconds left, 7-5 lead Rigger.
And down the stretch like this, you always tell your wrestler, give him one, just don't give him two. I don't think there have been any stalling warnings, have there?
No.
Quick stand up by Renard. Almost a stalemate. There's a stall call.
Mondelli.
Yep, on Rigger. Because he went on that single leg. He didn't try to do anything with it. Which is not really a bad move. Because you still have 17 seconds to go. You can afford another stall because it'd only be 1 point. Oh my.
And Menard's going to run out of time. Falls short, 7-5. Eric Rigger picks up his second region crown in as many years. Great match, Vogue.
It was. It was one where guys had seen each other before. They knew what to expect and they executed well. The medalist at 145 pounds. Third place medalist is Nick Araldi of West Deptford. Araldi came in as the number 3 seed, finished third. He beat Brett Carrero of Deptford 7-2 for the third place medal. Shane Robinson Absegami's second regional champion tonight, won by a 5-1 score over C.J. Cobb of Williamstown. So those three wrestlers, Robinson, Cobb, and Araldi, will be performing next in Atlantic City.
We get ready for 160 pounds. Number 1 seed Jeff White. And the number 7 seed Matt Cosgrove. Matt White, Middle Township. I'll tell you, what an exciting match he was involved in, Vogue. Found himself trailing and then came up with a big pin in the second period. Cosgrove, we talked about, third in District 29 last week. Now in the region final.
Yeah, he came in as the number 7 seed, so he's the lowest seeded wrestler to make the championship finals. Jeff White, 28-1 on the season. He's a junior. And as you mentioned, he was losing 5-4 when he had to roll through for a pin in the semifinals against Kenny Emmons of Pennsville. Cosgrove came in as the number 7 seed, and he won his first match on a tiebreaker 7-6 over on the first night. Then he beat he was losing to Matt Capitola of Egg Harbor Township 2-0 when he went for a reversal and stacked his man. And then in the semifinals, he wrestled Rob Loeffler from Deptford, and he was winning at the time 7-3, and he ended up pinning Loeffler in 4:54.
Of course, Loeffler, a 3-time District 29 champion out of Deptford High School.
Yep.
Scoreless, 1:15 into this first period.
Had a chance just to say something to Cosgrove as they were warming up before the match, and you know, he was so disappointed that he lost in the district semifinals and finished third, but that earned him his ticket here, and he's had 2 upsets here, so you just go out and have fun. I mean, you've accomplished so much more than people expected, and that's what he put a lot of hours in last summer working for this point. Cosgrove 32-5 this year. Lost to Hughes of Clearview, lost to Donahue of St. Augustine, to Ethan Orr of High Point, lost to a wrestler from Wyoming Seminary, another one from Athens, and they escaped the Rock tournament.
No points.
57 career wins. Jeff White, Middle Township junior, 28-1 this year. Only losses to Adam Schroeder, Matt Wolf, and Dan Jacoby in his corner. He's also a cross-country runner and lacrosse player.
As we mentioned, both wrestlers are juniors.
My wife has been following wrestling for a number of years, mainly because it was my occupation for so many years to cover a lot of meets. And she always has her favorites every year, and one of her favorites this year was...
Don't tell me.
Eric Rigger.
West Eric Rigger from Delsey. Okay.
And she has her favorites at West.
No, I was just joking. I actually thought you were going to say Paulsboro, so I'm a little shocked anyway.
She has some favorites there, too.
You think? Oh, Rigger, a 2-time region champ. And we talked about in the opening, it's hard enough winning 1. You got to learn 4 like Duca did. So, you know, to repeat, and you see Zysov winning 3.
Yep. I mean, it's just a tribute to how hard they work. And if anybody deserves a good fate, it's Cosgrove, because he worked so hard last summer. Wrestled an awful lot of tournaments. He's in trouble here, though. He's getting tilted.
2 back points.
Ron Roberts, the official. Maloney, the assistant.
Right to his back. There's a pin.
Oh, wow.
Jeff White, 2 impressive pins on the day.
139. .139, the time of the fall.
When we talk about some of these guys, we don't get to see them much, and you definitely don't get to see much of Middle Township wrestling, Voge.
And it's the first regional champion ever for Middle Township.
That's why you have that book there, Voge.
Yep. Sandwiched in between Maple Shade and Millville. Middle Township's first ever regional champion. And Jeff White was the #1 seed. Not totally unexpected.
The awards presentation, Voge, at 152. Want to run down them up, or run down that weight class for us?
152 pounds. Third place was Jake Siegfried of Highland, who'll be making a trip to Atlantic City. He beat Connor Donahue of St. Augustine 7-2. Runner-up at 152 pounds, Joe Renard of Kingsway. And the champion at 152 pounds, Eric Rigger of Delsey.
Get ready for 171 pounds, the returning region champ, Zach Augustino, who won at 161 last year, is now at 171.
Moves up a weight class. Zach Augustino, a senior, 129-14 in his career. Bob Bowen of Mount St. Joe in Maryland at the Beast of the East was one of the losses that he has this year.
Scott, 3 losses. Scott last year was at, I think, Eastern.
Yeah. Evidently, Augustino lost 3 times, but only one is listed. The Mount St. Joe, Maryland wrestler at the Beast of the East. 129-14 in his career, 4-time district champion. First, second, and third already in the regionals. Mike Keaza, his head coach. Damon Scott, wrestled, as you mentioned, for Eastern last year. He's a senior at Washington Township, 29-3. A third, 2 seconds, and a first in district competition. Ralph Ross Jr. and Mark Manchio in the corner for Scott.
Manchio, man, did he give us some excitement? We talked about some of those great wrestlers in Region 7, Region 8. How about Manchio? And that Manchio-Alexander match is one people talk about to this day.
We'll never forget it. People that witnessed it witnessed something special. Well, you have Washington Township and Egg Harbor Township out here now, and Washington Township has won the region title so far this evening. Egg Harbor Township has none. But you got the #1 against the #2 for all the marbles in this weight class.
Augustino trying to get the takedown. Voge, give a little grief to the officials, huh?
Oh, my God. I mean, Scott Jenkins has improved over the years. But I'm going to get him a failing grade for blocking my view.
They always thought Mrs. Voge was the mean one in the family.
By the way, we've had some great officiating in the tournament. Yeah, 4 officials working tonight. Maloney is officiating this one, and Michael Williams is the assistant. But Scott Jenkins, as we mentioned earlier today, Buddy Treen and Jim Brennan were other officials that worked on those 3 mats as we sailed through this tournament with the quarterfinals, semifinals, wrestlebacks, and consolations. They didn't break down to this one mat until after all the consolations were over.
Jim's kind of quiet right now, Bo. Do you remember the years when Absegami had their run?
Oh, yeah.
And this gym used to buzz.
Oh, there was a lot of excitement.
1-0.
Let's go, man, let's go!
Township has a champion at 130 in Huff, who won his 2nd region title, looking for the 2nd. They have a 2nd place finisher in Carter. And they had a few 3rd placers too. Nice tournament for Ralph and his boys.
Yeah. And Egg Harbor Township has only had 5 regional championships over the years, and Zach Augustino owns one of them.
A warning against Scott.
Yeah. Other district regional champions for Egg Harbor Township: Jimmy Garrett in 2004, Anthony Luma back-to-back in 2006 and 7, and Gerald Garrett in 2006, in addition to Augustino.
So their titles all coming within the last 5 or so years.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting, Village. We still have 4 weights to go, and a lot of people leaving.
Well, yeah, and that's what's a shame for the guys in the 89, 215, and 285 weight classes. I guess they're not expecting as much excitement, but there could be some sparks flying at 215. That's a district rematch. 2 very familiar foes.
We go to the 3rd. Augustino going to try and tie the match. He's down by a point. Remember, a stall warning already on Scott of Washington Township. Manchio and Ross in the corner for Township. Augustino steps up, gets out. That's got to make you happy, Voj. I know you love a guy to work on top and to give up those escapes in 3-4 seconds.
Well, you know, I've commented on it before, and I think it's such a big part of the sport, being able to ride somebody. Of course, when they eliminated riding time clocks years ago, there seems to be more of an emphasis of wrestling on the feet and not really riding somebody.
But, you know, Voj, if you're going to let them up,
you got to take them down.
Exactly. It's my 3rd Vogism of the night. Let's see if I pull 1 or 2 more out. Go back to the center with 117. Nice showing by Scott.
Scott got here with a 5-2 win over Nicholas Nunowitz of Oakrest. Then a 5-2 win over Chad King of Timber Creek. Augustino had a 4-foot win in his first match. He was originally scheduled to wrestle Tyler Burlingame, but Burlingame broke his thumb, cannot wrestle. And he had a 7-3 win over Woodstown wrestler Jake Capel in the semifinals. Capel come back and got 3rd place.
By the way, quietly having a great year too, Voj. He was what, like 35-1, something like that.
Great record coming in.
Out of Woodstown, like we talked about earlier with Middle Township, you don't get to hear much about the wrestlers. Some of the schools.
Right. Yeah, Woodstown's not exactly a hotbed of wrestling, although they've had their stars over the last couple of years. Guys that were consistently pretty good wrestlers. But this is becoming one of those who makes a mistake first type bouts.
The thing that Augustino has is that he has to stall warning against Scott, so if he can put some pressure on him.
Yep. But there's only 18 seconds
Got
left.
injury time or blood time, I think. Blood time.
Yeah, you're right. Blood timeout. Not unusual to see a blood timeout or an injury timeout from Washington Township's
blood time.
Sidelines.
Let's go. 18 seconds, go back up.
Oh, it'll be an interesting 18 seconds. See what happens here.
Yeah. Augustino can put the pressure on and draw another stall, but he steps back, maybe get a running start.
I think we're going to have overtime, Voge.
Our first overtime of the finals.
Right back to the center. Start them right up.
1 minute overtime period first. This is the sudden victory overtime period. Anybody who scores in this period wins the match automatically. If they go through the 1 minute and are still tied, goes to 2 30-second overtime periods. And in those overtime periods, those 30-second overtime periods, if a wrestler scores, the action doesn't stop. That 30 seconds is played out, and then the other wrestler gets 30 seconds. If it's still tied, then you go to the ultimate tiebreaker.
And remember, Scott has scored first in this match.
Yep. So in the ultimate tiebreaker, he would have choice. And obviously would take the bottom. Well, the stalling warning carries over. Would behoove Augustino to put the pressure on. Trying to spin behind.
No, not enough room on the mat. Manchio making the call. We have an injury time. Sure, it's injury. It looks like injury this time.
And the other one was a blood timeout. So injury timeout. If it was the second injury timeout, then the other wrestler would have choice of position.
You know, I thought they should always do Vogue instead of the 2:30s. One guy gets on the bottom. If he gets out in 4 seconds, then you run the clock the opposite way, and that guy has to get out in that time.
In 4 seconds?
Yeah. Well, if he takes him 29 seconds, or if you hold the guy 29 seconds, then no.
If he gets out in 3 seconds?
No, I know, the opposite way. Then you hold him down, then you got 29 seconds to get out. If you want to hold him for 4 seconds, you have 4 seconds to get out.
Yeah, well.
Because it's so hard to go down to that, just flip up, the 30-second tiebreaker, the ultimate tiebreaker, I should say.
Yeah.
Because that could be decided by the flip of a coin between the first and second periods.
Yeah, it could, and it is. I mean, when you're
in this match, it will be maybe.
Yes.
If it gets to that point.
Oh, he's running there.
I don't think he's going back to the center, though. Now Scott with the shot. Is he no time? We're going to have a little extra time, some more time. 2:30s. More blood.
Mike Chiazza, the Egg Harbor Township coach, not very happy.
Township has the choice. They deferred. Scott defers.
Yep. Now, like we mentioned, this is the 30-second overtime period. So if you score, you have to keep wrestling. Caution on Scott. Augustino trying to come off the bottom. Scott trying to get him in a headlock combination. Augustino trying to come out the side. Stalemate called. 19 seconds.
It only took Augustino 4 seconds the first time. Scott doing a lot better job here in the overtime. Got that leg. He's got to work up though, Vogt, below the knee.
Hold it tight! Hold that! Stay! Hold it right there!
There's the warning. He got hit with a point, Vogt.
Hold it right there, Dave!
2-1. And the takedown. Nope. Did he get 2?
No.
So it's 2-1 on the stall. So Augustino can't get up, but he picks up a point.
All right, now Scott will get the bottom, so all he
Is that
has
the
to
right
do is-
call there, Vogt? Not working up the leg, or what do you think?
Oh yeah, you pick the leg up, you got to get back to the mat. You know, you give him some reaction time, you get him time to follow the wrestler, but obviously it was a stalling situation.
Scott steps up. And remember, Scott, if he can get a point here, has his choice.
And Augustino has no stalling warning, I don't believe.
No. We got a stalemate, though. 14 seconds left.
So you got to collapse right on that leg, lock onto that leg, and even if you get a stalling warning, it's not going to be a point. Augustino just leaning his shoulder into him, driving into him.
Augustino wins his second region title.
2-1, overtime.
Well, the presentation for the awards at 70.
The medalist now at 160 pounds.
60.
Yeah, 160 pounds. Third place was Kenny Emmons of Pennsville, who won his third place medal by beating Jordan Davis of Woodstown 4-0. Second place at 160 pounds went to Matt Cosgrove at Paulsboro. His Cinderella season ended in the finals when Jeff White, winner of the finals as the #1 seed, got a fall at 1 minute and 31 seconds. That brings us up to 189 pounds, where Jimmy Owens, quite a football player at West Deptford, undefeated as a wrestler this season, 17-0, 51 career wins, second and first in 2 trips to the district finals, fourth in the region last year. He's meeting Clifford Farrell of Mainland, a senior, 36-2 this year. Lost to Zach Augustino, who we just saw win a regional title. And he also lost to Mike Zioli of Cherokee. 81 career wins for Cliff Farrell. Jimmy Owens, I believe, going to New Hampshire.
Playing a little football.
For football next year. Illustrious football career at West Deptford. He was the #1 seed in this weight class. He had a 4:48 fall and over Chris Lale of Kingsway in his first match, and a 6-0 win over Christian Santiago of Egg Harbor Township in the semifinals. Cliff Farrell, the #3 seed, had a 4-1 win over Jamar Bussey of Paulsboro, and then he beat Colin Walsh of Washington Township 13-8.
Impressive win over Walsh, because he just wrestled for 6 minutes, and you could just tell in the third period the conditioning kicked in. There's the 2. No. Oh.
Spun around. When he spun around, supporting points of one wrestler and 1 supporting points of Owens were out of bounds. Ironically, so far, there's only been 1 school that has notched 2 Region 8 championships tonight.
Absegami.
Absegami at 135 and 145.
Owens tried to spin around and get the takedown. Farrell just picks him up, potentially dangerous.
Paulsboro has joined Buna, Timber Creek, Gateway, Washington Township, Hamilton, Delsey, Middle Township, and Egg Harbor Township with 1 winner apiece.
Mainland High School, Voch, how are they? The wrestling tradition there, region champs. You have your book with all that information.
Mainland High School has had one regional champion over the years, Sam Natello, in 1988.
The same weight class, Voch.
189. Yep. Sam Natello was a coach at Mainland for a few years.
Owens has come close to takedowns a couple times and couldn't finish.
Extremely quick on the mat. But Farrell is showing some quick moves as well. West Deptford has had wrestlers win 16 regional titles over the year. Started back in 1964 with Frankie Pulio.
It was what? West Deptford's only state champion.
First and only state champion. Most recent regional champion was Jimmy Rollins in 2001. Who's now coaching out
Really?
in
That's the last
Nebraska.
time, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
Now coaching out in Nebraska at Dana, NAIA school.
Had a chance to see Jimmy over the Christmas break, I think it was.
Well, we
the St.
saw
Augustine match.
St. Augustine match at West Deptford. You ventured out that night to keep me company.
Yes, I did.
Oh my.
Look at that.
Nothing yet. Good reaction by Owens. Owens is one of the quietest, tough athletes I've ever talked to. Very, very quiet in his spoken habits.
Great track star, too.
Yeah. He had knee problems earlier in the year, which accounts for some of the minimum number of matches he's had this year.
Plus college visits on recruiting.
In college, yeah. Now we'll have his hands full because Farrell will take the bottom. You have to wonder if Owens will expend a lot of energy to try and keep him down, or once he gets out, just try and keep him under control. Owens throws the legs in. If he can pry the arm, he can maybe get an back exposure. Michael Williams calls the stalemate. A lot of empty seats now. Farrell
Owens, though, nice job staying with him.
kept his hips in. You see that? Kept his hips in, stayed right in there, stayed under control. If he keeps forward pressure on the head, can't let his man to his feet. That's dangerous. Still in control. Has to spin around behind to keep control.
And there's the escape. We're tied at 1.
56 seconds ago when that escape came about. As we said often earlier this evening,
No guppies.
no guppies this far upstream, only sharks. Have to keep the forward pressure on. Tell you what, both athletes are very quick.
I noticed that, Voch. One tries something, the other one's there to stop it.
Yep.
Both sneaking a peek at the clock, I noticed also.
Well,
You see Farrell looking up.
yeah, when it's 1-1, you either do two things, like he's doing right there. Try and get that last second move. But do something that, if it's not going to work, you're close enough to the out of bounds where you can save yourself.
We have our second straight overtime match, folks, and we will. 1-1, we go into overtime.
Farrell in on the leg. Owens has to keep the forward pressure on. Good move by Owens to get out of trouble.
Yeah, that just shows his strength, folks.
Yeah, Farrell tried to trip. And Owens takes a deep shot.
Now I'll remind everybody, Owens scored the first points in this match.
So if it goes to that 30-second ultimate tiebreaker, they'll have choice.
Still have 20 seconds left here, though. Someone scores, it's over.
Yes.
Farrell takes the shot again.
It's a sudden victory.
Owens might get it now,
Got
Vogt.
an ankle, you got to spin behind.
Keep moving. If you're Owens, keep moving.
Missed the crossface, got to get the crossface.
8 seconds.
Still spinning. Oh my.
Farrell has the leg hook. We're gonna
Oh no,
no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no.
Just missed it. Farrell just missed it by a second. Mike Colombo and Mike Bogosius in the corner for Mainland.
Caution on Owens.
Farrell tried to sit out to get loose, up to his feet. Owens following.
If you're Farrell, that's a quick 13 seconds.
Without a doubt. Owens got to be careful. He's going to get hit by a stall. 9 seconds to go. Now see, I'm kind of the feeling that if a guy gets to his feet like that, you're trailing him, he's battling to get out, and you're following him. I just don't see that as a stall.
Well, nice job by Owens, Vogt. He's going to not give up any points here, right? So he can win it. Well, got to wrestle to 30, and he's got that stall warning now. So now he's got to go, even if he gets out, he's got to wrestle.
Yes. Yes, because the 1 point, if he gets out, does not stop the match. Owens on the bottom.
Of course, he can't just lay there either with that warning because he would lose on the...
Up to his feet. Got to turn his hips. He's up to his feet like that. He's got to get hand control and he's got to turn his hips.
Owens is definitely moving on the bottom. I don't think the stall got to worry about. And he's trying to get up and get out of bounds. Or get up and, not get out of bounds. So
yeah,
goes out of bounds.
He's got 6 seconds now. He's has to explode off the bottom. And if he doesn't come out of this, then he'll have choice in that tiebreaker.
Just what I said, Vogt. This is why it comes down to a coin toss. Because you lose that toss after scoreless first period.
Yeah.
Because what happens to happen here now, if you're Farrell, you have to hold him down for a minute. 30 seconds. He just did for 30. He's got to do it for another 30.
Yep, previous 30 seconds and this 30 seconds. If Owens gets out, it's automatically over. If there's another stall point, it's automatically over.
Left.
Oh, brother.
And how about that? Cliff Farrell evenly matched or what?
2-1 on an ultimate tiebreaker.
Wow.
What a way to lose. Huh?
Almost like those guys could wrestle 10 times and go 5 and 5.
Yeah, number 3 seed wins the ultimate tiebreaker, so it has to go 8.5 minutes. All right, the medalists at 171 pounds. Third place at 171 was Jake Popale of Woodstown, 5-3 winner over Chad King of Timber Creek. Second place at 171 was Damon Scott of Washington Township, and Zach Augustino of Egg Harbor Township won his second straight regional title. And we just saw with Middle Township winning a title. It's the first one
In over 20 years.
yes, since, or not Middle Township, mainland. First one since Sam Natel did it in 1988.
2:15 Vogue, a rematch of the District 29 final from a week ago where Greenwald beat Pasiti 3-2.
Number 1 seed Zach Greenwald, the senior, 36-1 this year, 135.
And he already gets a takedown, Vogue, 4 seconds in. Sorry to interrupt.
Yep. And 18 losses his career, four-time district champion. A first in this region 2 years ago, second last year, was fifth in the state 2 years ago, and third last year the hard way. Lost early in that state tournament, had to wrestle 7 times to get to third place. I think he's on a mission tonight. I think he was very frustrated against Pasiti in the district final. I think it was a 1-point match, a 3-2 maybe.
3-2.
Yeah. Mike Pasiti followed in the footsteps of his brother Jerry, 215-pounder. Brother was a heavyweight, 50 wins in his career. Lost to Zach Greenwald, lost to Nick Curl at heavyweight, lost to Mike Haynes and Kevin King.
2 of those losses to Paulsboro opponents.
Yep.
It's 2-1 here.
John Craig and Vince Layton in the corner for Pasiti.
Paul Masano with Marina. 2 years ago, Greenwald beat Hassett of Williamstown 5-4, and then last year lost to Grisco. I believe Grisco made it to the state final last year before he losing to Glenn Carson of Southern.
Yeah,
I believe.
Joey Grisco, very good wrestler. In college now, and Greenwald has made his commitment to Sacred Heart to play football. And again, he's the aggressor out there. And on the legs again. Greenwald has 1 loss this year. That was to Kevin Ennis of St. Peter's.
All right, and Ennis is right now ranked number 1 in the state, and Greenwald 2.
Yep, and that was in the Mustang Classic. And that was tied 1-1. In the last 15-20 seconds, Greenwald tried that patented double leg takedown. Ennis was ready for it and kind of like flipped Greenwald over his shoulders and got the takedown and ended up winning 3-1.
Greenwald going to give up the point, 4-2 lead.
Well, I think he feels a little bit extra confident now because he's gotten 2 takedowns early, which was a different job and a different story in the district final. Tom Reynolds in charge on the mat. Ron Roberts, the assistant. See Pasiti trying to grab Greenwald's wrist when he comes in to keep him from getting in there on a double leg, and there's a stalling warning against Pasiti.
Wow, that was a quick move there, Vogue.
Very quick. A la John Smith, Oklahoma State. Wow.
Not enough time for back point, 6-2 lead.
Ask Joey Melchiori about John Smith.
Yeah, kept him from being a national champ.
Just getting asked about my opinion of the officiating tonight by the little colonel, Al Maloney.
You think it's been pretty good, right, Voj?
Oh, I think it's been pretty consistent all night long.
You know, you talked about the crowd thinning out. We're looking at it right now.
Yeah, the one set of bleachers where the Absegami fans were sitting is...
It's a good thing Paulsboro brings its own section, Coach.
Wow, and
they stuck around.
And it's a good thing that they have wrestlers in the last two weights.
Right.
They don't want to go out and leave their heroes in there. There's another takedown for Greenwald. He's throwing every bit of ammunition at Pacitti tonight.
8-3 lead.
On 4 takedowns. And Greenwald gives another point. Escape, intentional escape. Well, if Greenwald's going to win a state title, he's a late 215 pounder. He's about a 205, 206. So he's not cutting weight to get to 215. And he's going to meet some brutes up there that probably are cutting down from 225, 230. So he's got to have endurance. And that's what he's working at here. A lot of endurance. His quickness.
I'll wait for right now. There he goes again.
Yep.
And on the shot. And remember, Pacitti's already been hit with a stall warning.
Right. And I got in on the single. Now you just use the forward trip. Get your man to the mat. We'll see if he cuts him loose again here. Or does he want to practice a little bit on his ride?
His 135 wins. If he wins today, Voj, that'll be 136. Am I right?
Yes.
Which would tie him for 5th place in the all-time record at Paulsboro with Alex Silvestro.
And can surpass him up the state tournament.
Paulsboro's been pretty lucky at that 215 weight class when you look back at it over the last decade. Mendenhall, Silvestro, now Greenwald.
Got some real studs there. Guys that are really dedicated. And Greenwald's, now he's focused. I didn't think he was absolutely focused in the district final. And maybe that's maybe a little bit of lack of respect of your opponent. You have a teammate who was a heavyweight to beat him, and you have him, and maybe sometimes your plan of attack is just not where it should be.
Of course, when it's all said and done, Voj, Greenwald could end up the 3rd winningest wrestler in Paulsboro history. Matt Suter has 138. So, he could have 136, just wins 3 upstate, and he becomes the 3rd winningest wrestler in school history. And that's, you look at these names that you gave me, Voj. Yeah. Curl, Suter, Hester, Silvestro, Greenwald.
136, 135 going into this match. So if he wins this one, he's got a 10-4 lead. That's 136.
That ties him with Silvestro.
Yeah. And then Demetrius Hester at 138, tied with Matt Suter. Tommy Curl 141. Now that's pretty much of a stretch now out of being able to touch it, but
it's one of those you'd have to do what you did last year, win a lot in wrestlebacks, and you don't want to do that if you're Greenwald.
Yeah.
You want to wrestle what, 4 or 5 times?
4 times.
4 times.
I'm gonna go up there and wrestle 4 times, get it over with, get on the top of the podium. Another takedown.
13-4.
Obviously, he's in control of this match. And as we mentioned going in, Paulsboro had 102 different regional champions or 102 regional championships over the years with 68 different wrestlers. Now,
and by the way, Voj, we're looking at your wife, so Just saying. She's still here.
She better be. Duca winning tonight. Of course, that's not a different person, and Greenwald's not a different person because they both won before. So that'll make it 104 regional championships with 68 different guys. But I think the more impressive thing, we talked about it earlier, from 1970, one?
Right. They've had at least one.
Yeah, with Tyrone Hamilton and Jack Suter winning in 1971. Every year since 1971. It's got to boggle people's minds how tough it is to become a regional champion, and for Paulsboro to have at least one every year. In fact, as Pete DePaul saved it 1 year.
I knew we have to hear this Pete DePaul story. I was hoping we can get through a whole region without hearing the Pete DePaul story. Go ahead, Vogt, give it to us. It was an escape, 13-5.
Yeah, he was their lone winner his senior year, and kept that streak going. Pete DePaul, a regional champion in 1994 in this gym.
14-5. And once again, Greenwald in, getting the shot, getting the takedown. 16-5.
Does he look focused?
Absolutely.
And that's what he's going to need to win a state title. You have to be focused.
Not going to have any room there, Vogt.
No.
And he's going to run out of time. 16-5. Greenwald with his second crown to go with a second place finish last year. So wins as a sophomore, wins as a senior. An impressive fashion, Vogt. 16-5 just made it look so easy and quick on his feet for a big man.
Yes, absolutely. The medalist at 189 pounds, third place at 189 pounds from Absegami High School, Kevin Statmuller. He was a 2-1 winner over Jamar Bussey of Paulsboro. Second place at 189 pounds was Jimmy Owens, the superb senior athlete from West Deptford. And the champion at 189 pounds was Clifford Farrell of Mainland, the first Mainland regional champion since 1988. Brings us down to the very last weight class, the 285-pound weight class, and we have the number 1 seed, Chaz Lear of Lower Cape May, against the number 2 seed, Nick Curl of Paulsboro. Chaz Lear, 29-0 coming into this bout. 99 career wins entering this bout. So if he wins, it'll be his 100th win. Jimmy Higgins got that earlier in the tournament for Washington Township.
I think Higgins became the winningest wrestler in Washington Township. I think he had 100, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I thought they announced it was his 100th win.
I'll double check on that.
Yeah. And that with that 101st win, he was the winningest wrestler. But you could be right.
Well, I could be wrong, too.
Chaz Lear with 21 falls this year, so he's a pinner. Senior class president. Part of the future educators at Lower Cape May Regional. Nick Curl Jr., 33-4 this year after missing the last 2 seasons after getting started in the season and then having injuries curtail the season. He's got 62 career wins. Lost this year to a wrestler from Islip, New York, 3-2, to Karan Gibson of Gateway, which he avenged in the districts. Casey Haynes of Great Valley, and a wrestler from Garnett Valley, 3-2. So he lost 5-3, 3-2, 3-2, and to Gibson of Gateway, who he came back and avenged.
And Higgins, Vogt, did have 108 coming into the year.
Okay.
So he did not that I had to prove myself right. Or prove you wrong.
Wonder why they announced it was his 100th win. Maybe it was somebody else from Washington Township. You think?
That I don't know. I did hear him make an announcement with Higgins, but I thought they said that he was the winningest wrestler in the sport.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
But it just seemed to me I heard 100 and I wrote it down.
No score, 36 seconds in, or 36 seconds, I should say, left in the first. This is how Curl plays it, Voj. You've seen him now for 3 years. Tight, low-scoring matches.
Yeah, he's a little bit different than his brother was. His brother was shorter in stature, very fast, very strong. Nick has gotten increasingly stronger, has great height for a heavyweight. Two-way starter on the football field, offensive and defensive tackle, I believe.
Go to the second. Curl has his choice. Chooses bottom.
Well, that's a smart thing because you want to get the first point scored if it should go to the ultimate tiebreaker.
It's only good if he can get out, and Curl got out.
Yep. A takedown would be huge for either one of these wrestlers in this bout. Well, good. One good thing about the crowd leaving early, Mondelli.
It'll be a lot quicker getting out.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to help break down, which makes things a lot easier for the crew. Long match so far, Voj, almost 2.5 hours, and we're going to wrap it up right from here when this match ends. But at the rate this is going, we've seen a couple in overtime already.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Looking for the big throw.
Yep, Lear trying for...
Look out, Voj. I had you covered.
I'm glad they were flying this way.
Looking over Darren Leary, our cameraman's.
Darren was bailing on that one. Darren would have been squashed like a pea.
Having fun with the crowd, Voj. I'm having fun with the crowd.
Well, that's why you're here. You're our ambassador of goodwill.
That's what it is.
The two wrestlers are probing, looking for one little opening. See who can blink first.
It's always tough for the heavyweights, Voj, or the last people to wrestle in these tournaments because they got to go right onto the stand to get their trophy.
Onto the podium,
I mean, it goes right 215 right in the heavyweight. There's no break for another weight class.
Yep.
Curl looking aggressive right there.
And it's a shame because the Outstanding Wrestler Award has to be presented in this tournament, and the majority of the crowd has filed out.
Curl's dad right on the edge of the mat, watching. Then we go to the third. Like I ready to say, Voj, sometimes if you're the heavyweight, it's good to be on top.
Well, if you can break the man down, and that's the name of the game here. You know, when you got heavyweights, if you can break the man down flat on the mat and use your weight advantage to keep him flat on the mat, it can be beneficial. But Chaz Lear has how many losses this year?
None.
None. So nobody evidently has held him down for an extended period of time. Uh-oh.
And there's a reversal,
Nice.
maybe. Not yet.
If not a reversal, it'll be an escape.
Got two.
Yep. Girl got just a little bit out of position there, and Chaz Lear is much too athletic to let him get an edge on you.
Lear going for his 100th win. Of course, Curl now needs to get out to tie this match. He's got a minute to do it.
And Lear looks very much in control on top. Going to get back exposure coming up. He's trying to pry him
There's the
over.
count. He's got the count.
Yep.
Three back. It's now 5-1.
There's a talented heavyweight there, Chaz Lear.
You're going right to the record book on Lower Cape May, Voj, aren't you?
Yep. Figured that was coming. Lower Cape May has had 6 regional championships. The most recent, Sean Laughlin in 96 and 97.
He was a state champ.
A state champ and a 2-time regional champ. And Chaz Lear is a regional champion for the first time.
5-1 win for
5-1
Lear.
Yep.
And we're getting ready for the presentations, Voj. Let's break it down. We're at Absegami High School. Gene Barber gets the Region Coach of the Year,
right,
and gets 2 region champs.
2 region champs. Absegami had 2. Paulsboro had 2. Everybody else had 1.
A lot of balance.
Yeah. Buna, Timber Creek, Gateway, Washington Township, Hamilton, Delsey, Middle Township, Egg Harbor Township, Mainland, Lower Cape May. And there's some names you don't normally hear. Mainland,
right,
Lower Cape May, Egg Harbor Township, Middle Township. So a lot of parity, it seems like, in this tournament. And Chaz Lear was the #1 seed in that last weight class, and he lived up to his #1 billing by winning that title.
Talk about 215 as you see Greenwald getting ready to go up the stand.
215, Kevin Trent of Timber Creek was the 3rd place medalist, beating Mark Capitola of Egg Harbor Township. 2nd place at 215 pounds was Mike Piscidi of West Deptford High School, and Zach Greenwald with his 2nd regional title, having an excellent year. He won 16-5 over Piscidi, and that brought us right down to the 285-pound weight class. 3rd place at 285. You remember this from the districts. Dan Garwood from Clearview High School.
Yeah, so I guess it paid off, by the way, Voj. Garwood was 215 most of the year, decided to go heavyweight.
Yep.
And it got a little iffy there in the semifinals, where he lost in the semis. The districts had to go back and win the consolation to get here,
right,
and then comes back and finishes 3rd.
Finishes 3rd here and earns a trip to Atlantic City. 2nd place at 285, Nikki Curl, a junior who will have another chance to win the district title next year. And the champion, and staying undefeated, Chaz Lear of Lower Cape May Regional.
And they're getting ready to go over there and do the presentations for the heavyweight. Also want to thank the people here at Absegami. You mentioned it earlier, Voj, but it's not easy running a tournament like this, and then to have the snow interfere and have to have it all in one day. That's pretty tough.
Brutal. It was brutal. I mean, we had a CD meeting the other day, and we knew what the contingency plans were. We were all hoping that we wouldn't have to do what we did, but we got through it.
Okay, Voj, well, I want to thank the crew, thank everybody here at Absegami. For John Vogeding, John Mondelli. We'll see you next time.